Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final fan cams before round one. After a loss to finish off our preseason, bit of a scrappy game. It wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good watch for a Carlton supporter. Maybe if you're a Swan supporter, but it was 7 goals, 12, 54 to 15 goals, 7, 97 in a bit of a flat watch for me personally. Didn't really get much going consistently. I'm not really sure what to take of it other than I think everybody got out unscathed, which is a good sign. So, yeah, welcome. It's good to be back. Good to be back in the chair. We were very well represented last week by Pommy and just now with him and Paolo in the watch along. So I'll put the link in the chat if anybody wants to join. You know how this works. We'll chat about this. We'll get some discussion going about the game, about preseason, and we'll look ahead to round one. So let's bring in our first guest. Josh.
Terry, how are you?
Mate, I'm good. I'm good. How are
Honestly,
you?
I'm good too. You know, I mean, I did text you before the game, like 5 hours ago, that we were winning the flag and all that. I still believe that because it's only a practice game. Look, what do you even take out of that game? I could have fallen asleep watching that. Honestly, it was so boring and it was scrappy. But what I did notice is that we didn't really play the game like it was a wet weather footy. We were trying to play it as if it was dry. We should have been kicking along, and that was just one of my takeouts personally.
Yeah. No, I felt just a little flat watching it. We didn't quite have the energy. I don't think we played very smart, especially early on. I think particularly with that breeze that they had early on, and they took advantage of it. And I felt like, once the rain came, we didn't adjust. I mean, what do I really take out of that? We got through unscathed. Few good looks for the young boys. I think Cowan and Hollands took a step up from last week, but yeah.
I reckon Cowan, he's here to cause a big selection headache round one. He looked really good. Holland's not too far behind him, I reckon. Sauce has got to be a bit better with his kicking. I reckon he was pretty poor last week with Collingwood. I know it's pre-season and all that, but Collingwood, he was a bit poor with his kicking. I mean, I know tonight the conditions aren't bad. I'm not trying to bag Sauce. Absolutely love him. But, you know, he's in his 8th season now. He needs to be a bit better than that. And obviously, no Cripps, McGovern, Marchbank. So, like, we're missing a few key players, but in terms of positional. But otherwise, I'm just really glad we got out without any major injuries that we're aware of at this stage. What did Paddy? Did you see much of Paddy Dow? I didn't like. Was he all right? I didn't see too much. I know he got the ball a bit, but
yeah, saw a bit of him. I think in the first half he was probably better than the second half. Played 64% of the game time, so that probably tells a little bit of the story.
okay, all right. No, I didn't see too. I saw him with the ball every now and then, but I know obviously with the game being so scrappy, it was very hard to make. Like, I reckon I can't remember that many clean possessions on our part, unfortunately. So I just honestly, I don't know. I wish it was just, good conditions, footy and all that. But other than that, I'm just keen for round one now. Bring it on. We should be all set. Cripps will be back. Mackay will be back. I think, that's about it. And you know what? People are saying Sydney are going to drop out of their 8 this year. I don't think so. I reckon after getting smashed in the grand final, they've got a really good list. Buddy's in his 19th season. I reckon he's still got a lot to prove. Chad Warner's a good player. So I don't think they'll drop it out of the 8. I reckon they'll push pretty far. And even though it's preseason, they looked like they were going pretty hard at us at some moments. It definitely was some moments into the game where it got a bit heated, I thought, as well. But other than that, it is the Swans and it's a practice game. But on to round one. That's what I reckon, Terry, overall.
I did get your text message before the game talking about winning a premiership. I wasn't sure if you wanted to reveal that live on air, but seeing as you did, going into round one, going into the season overall now with what we've seen in the preseason, you confident?
Yeah, look, that game, it was just scrappy. It was absolutely pouring with rain. We were missing so many players. Look, Look, it is pre-season. As Carlton fans, we just naturally every year believe we're going to win the flag for some reason. That's what I've noticed. Like I was at the gym today and I just looked up to my mate and I said, mate, Carlton are going to win the flag this year. And he just looked at me with the most confused look because it just came out of nowhere. But I'm very confident overall. We've got our list is primed for success. This is the beginning of our premiership window. Last year, yeah, we had, we were close, but that Collingwood game was essentially a final. We've got all the experience we have now. Vossi's in his second year. I reckon it's now time for this list to take that next step. And yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Josh, the optimist. Love to see it. Love to see you, mate.
Good to see you, Tez. I'll see you next week at the season launch. Get your tickets. I don't know if there's any left, but if there is some, come say good day to everyone next Saturday. It's going to be unreal.
Good on you. Spot on. Thanks, Josh.
Baggers.
Up the baggers. Homie.
I thought that was a tough watch, wasn't it? I don't even know what to take out of that game.
Yeah.
To be honest, like when you see Voss and the coaches shaking hands, high-fiving each other, smiling, it kind of makes you think, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, Voss didn't look too displeased with what he saw at the end. I'd imagine he's probably just clapping his hands that we've got through unscathed. But, I mean, really, just watching it from the eye and then watching that versus the Collingwood game, it's two different sides. And, like, my brain's trying to think, are Carlton suddenly a good side and they're taking everything off it and just trying to get through this game? Seems a weird one for me. I don't know what to take out because from a numerical point of view, 11% of the time we played on, 22% was our season average, 38% last year when we beat Sydney, and that was how we beat them. Total different exploitation this week. And obviously, we'll never know. We'll never know what Carlton were working on if they were working on anything. But, I mean, if that's what we're judging the season on, you probably would be concerned. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest. But I suppose I've got to do what every Australian kept saying last week. They're only a practice game. And I suppose next 2 weeks' time, that's when you'll actually know.
Yeah, we'll get a lot more context. I don't know. I think with the preseason games, for the most part, I'm looking to see which of the fringe players look comfortable enough at the level, look like they've improved. Hate to go into individuals, but I think Cowan and Hollands did themselves no harm at all. They looked a lot more comfortable this week than last week, and that's saying something given the conditions. What did you make of? I mean, you've obviously been talking about Cowan for a while now, and you're pretty big on him. So that's a ticket in the right direction. Come round one, now that we've seen 2 practice matches, who really puts himself in line for that debut?
Well, I mean, I think Cowan's no shock. Well, he might be shocked to other people, but I'm about surprised as Charlie winning a Coleman, to be honest. I mean, not surprised, mofos. I mean, yeah, he brings something. I mean, what was it? 5 intercepts. Do you know what I mean? His second and third efforts are exemplary. Hollands, do you know what I mean? Real bit of mongrel in him. A lot of people saying that he's undersized. He'd certainly puts to shame a lot of players today who are 10 kgs heavier than him in his intensity to the ball. And it was interesting because before this game, you would have said Lockie O'Brien was a walk-up start for round 1. And in my preview, I talked about a lot of players are probably going against each other today in their game and probably trying to fight each other for round 1. And I think my biggest disappointment was players like Paddy Dow. Great opportunity. You looked at what all the midfield were doing. All of them have got high meters gain numbers and basically getting the ball going forward. Dow, total opposite. Do you know what I mean? Less than 100 meters gained. Do you know what I mean? When everyone else with less centre bounces attended are over him. That's a concern. Do you know what I mean? That, for me, is a huge concern. Players didn't really step up. Josh Honey, opportunity. Probably warming the seat for Durden. Didn't feel like he took his opportunity. And I think that's my biggest takeout for me. Jack Carroll, like Michael says, yeah, again, didn't quite work his way into it. And these are the type of players that should be seeing no Walsh. Huge opportunity. And I'd take it personally. If I was Dow Carroll, I'd take it personally. Walsh is fighting fitness and people are talking about bringing him in. This is the game where you say, no, fuck it. Walsh has 3 weeks off. Get him fully fit. I take it. So that's a concern for me. As for the performance, if we're going to be critical, and I suppose we've got to be consistent because we praised them last week, real lethargic movement down the back. The fact that Carlton scored 32 points from forward half turnover, but then got cut apart once you got past that first line. The gaps, again, are appearing on that outlet ball. Defensively, the way we move the ball, total different from last week. I don't know if that was a preordained plan or if that was where the boys were playing. The one that concerned me, and I'd love to know if your thoughts, Terry, and chat, Lewis Young looked like a new Lewis Young, like double fisting under no pressure to give them a goal. He looked really loose. He got lost a few times. Their little concerns moving it around one. I mean, obviously, if this is the worst they ever play, fantastic. But few just chips on the wall there for me. Just a few. I left this game with a lot more questions than I had. Yeah,
I think that's a great way to summarize it. I watched that and I'm no more sure around our prospects from a senior player point of view. A little bit more clear to me around how the young ones are going to cope with the level. I think they inserted themselves well, but I think, I mean, for the most part, you can pick out maybe 5 or 6 guys that really brought the heat. And then I think across the board, the rest, I mean, it's just kind of like it was a cold Friday night down in Blacktown, and, you know, they kind of played like it. It just didn't have the same spark, and I can understand it's preseason. It's also Sydney. I'm not sure if without being a coach and without being in the coach's box and without knowing what they're looking for specifically, I'm not sure what we gained from that from a game plan point of view, because I didn't think we really brought the energy for a competitive game that we're going to be playing in a few weeks to that game tonight. So I'm a bit more confused as well.
Well, I mean, I just think of the players that are going to come in. I just look at the players that come in and I say, based on that performance, does it make us better? And I really don't see it does. Do you know what I mean? Like, Carlton dominated hit-outs again, but got smashed on clearance. And yeah, Cripps is going to help a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But the problem we had last year was when Cripps didn't have Hewitt and Kennedy doing the hard work. Cripps was ineffective because he was going back to 2018 Cripps having to do it all again. Harry coming in, that doesn't stop the shit transition from defence. Harry doesn't help your defensive transition either. So it's little things like that. And then I think if McGovern was fit and was playing, he didn't have the birth of his kid. If Marchbank was miraculously fit, yes, you'd have the intercept opportunities. But again, it doesn't help. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't help what you saw today. Do you know what I mean? Cripps wouldn't have won them taps. Do you know what I mean? That we're already winning. So there's little things like that that do concern me. But like then when I see, my attitude changed when I saw Voss, because Voss didn't look concerned at all. So that kind of then made me think, Pom, shelve the analyticalness for a second. But because obviously Voss has got something out of that. So that is where there's hope. So either that or Voss has lost the plot and had a sherry at halftime. But I mean, that left a sour taste in my mouth. To be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this time last year, we're playing against the D's, winning the second preseason game. What did that end up really meaning for the season? I'm not sure. We looked a lot more clean. We also played in dry conditions, but I don't want to be a team that relies on the conditions. I don't want to be a team like that.
Good teams win rain, sun, snow.
Yeah.
On Mars, on Neptune, on Venus. Do you know what I mean? Like, good teams don't make excuses. I mean, it's just going to be one of them things, isn't it? I mean, to be honest, no one, it doesn't matter how smart or stupid you are, no one will know until that game is played, Richmond, Pack G. And do you know what I mean? The boys could come out and just totally take the piss. But I will say, just watching Voss at the end said to me, it was like Goodwin. And then like Goodwin 4 weeks later confirmed that what gave them that winning start was the fact that they spent a half just letting Carlton come at them. And that was their whole mantra. So suddenly Carlton's miraculous win against Melbourne was Mickey Mouse, because Melbourne said, well, we just let Carlton do it. We let them exit D50 so we could work on what we were hoping to work on in the season and see how they reacted. And you never know, Carlton could be 8-1. And Voss goes, oh, the reason we're 8-1 is because I told them to just fuck about in Blacktown and have a night out. Do you know what I mean? So you don't know, but I mean, that Voss reaction says to me he's got something out of it. But watching it from an analytical point of view, yeah, probably be fucking worried. Do you know what I mean? But I genuinely, heart of hearts, you know me, I'm probably the most irrational person on here. I expect standards. Genuinely, I haven't left that game worried. Do you know what I mean? I've genuinely more left that game with, if I was Richmond, I'm like, is this 2018 Carlton?
I know. Like, what are they bringing to us in round one?
But like genuinely, yeah. I mean, if we can see it last week, I felt a lot more happy because I could see the issues issued, the issues addressed. They really negated what Collingwood did. But this is a game that Carlton was so good at last year. And to see us play so differently, and it's abnormally, like statistically, it's abnormally different. That just screams to me that there was some ulterior motive, and that's for us to find out round one, I'm afraid. That
is. How are you feeling going into round one, seeing what you've seen in this preseason? The whole, not just tonight, but the whole picture, the health of the list, the consistency of what you've seen overall going into round one now. What's the feeling?
I'm not concerned. I think the big thing for us is you've got two blokes there who've shown that they are AFL ready. Cowan, do you know what I mean? He's big. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's a big difference. Hollands looks like he's ready-made. I'm confident. I'm still torn in the Ruck situation. I think both of them bring something. Pitternet didn't look quite fit. Yeah, he didn't look quite fit, and that does concern me. But I think we're good. I think we're in a good place. I think I'd love to see that game played on 4 points, and obviously there's no way to. So, I mean, they've blown the cobwebs off. Voss obviously has got what he needs to be out. So I'm looking forward to round one. Looking forward to now. Let's just stop talking about it because Carlton talked too much, and I want to see us go head-to-head with the Tigers, move into round 10 against the Premiers, and then move into our easy fixtures. So I'm eager to see this first 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's enough. We're no longer going to be talking about the coulds, woulds, or shoulds, and we're going to start talking about the ones that do, and the teams that do, and the teams that did. So let's see. Mate, see you in 2 weeks.
Mate, big love to everyone in the Blue Abroad chat, and I'll look forward to round one. Let's bring it on.
All right, mate. Take care. Faz.
How you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm glad we got through without any injuries, I think.
I think up I'll and go about. There. Absolute win. No injuries. We should be up and about, mate. That's huge.
What did you make?
That was it was a tough watch. Real tough watch. I think for me the biggest concern, I get the idea of, this player's missing and Cripps and Harry and all these players missing, but that doesn't. We're meant to be talking about changing the system and playing a system. Those dump kicks, and I'm talking Wiedering doing dump kicks. I'm talking Doherty doing dump kicks. Those dump kicks don't change if you know what I mean. Like, it's a system thing. That was hard watching. It just felt like every time they kicked the ball, they hit a target. Every time we kicked the ball, it hit a pack, and it was tough. But no injuries is as good as 4 points. So.
At this point, no injuries. A couple of kids who, I don't know, for the most part, I think we all look at that game and we say, all right, Cowan looks a likely type. Hollands looks a likely type. There's two kids that will bring some energy into the season for us. I'm curious to hear your take on the Ruck situation. I almost feel like Pito needs one more game before the season, but we don't have another game.
Yeah. Look, I've played my hand very early in the Ruck situation. I'm unashamedly not a Tom De Koning fan at all. I'm very open and honest. I've said it many, many times that Pitnet is top 5 most important players on our list. And I think there's no coincidence that when he went injured last year, the trickle started to occur. And I think you saw it tonight. Tom De Koning, we didn't even look like winning a clearance when Tom De Koning was rucking, and Pitnet did it for a bit. And I think we won more clearances. I'll watch it back again. For me, it has to be Pitnet. And I agree. He didn't look fit, but 2 weeks, can we get another mini match sim into him between now and round 1? I think of Nan Curvis, I think of Soldo, and I think Tom De Koning can't be anywhere near that round 1. Not the opening bounce, at least.
Yeah. I guess the other point to take, and I might be getting caught into ifs and buts. In my mind, McGovern, from what I've been reading, he's fit and he's going to be available. He had the birth of his child, I think, is the story that was going around online today. Martin, again, from what I'm told, based on what we're getting publicly as official news, those two will be playing. I guess I'm mindful of them having not played any practice games, more so from the standpoint of just positioning with the group. We're not a team that has had a lot of consistency as a 22. So I always look at opportunities where we do play games to get continuity in the list playing together. I just hope that this plan that we have in place with these guys is going to work, because we go into seasons far too often with 3, 4, 5, 6 guys who are just, we make concessions for because they're injured. So what do you take on that? How much of an impact will the guys that are coming in, how much of an impact will that have for us?
Well, I think you don't want to play too many underdone players. I think, everyone's talking about, McGovern and Marchbank and all this stuff, depending on how underdone he, like if McGovern's fit, obviously, birth of his child, ready to go. But I think you can play Jack Martin underdone, because I genuinely believe there's no one better than him or as good as him anywhere near it. I mean, you saw Honey tonight. I'm not sure he's the answer. And so I think you can and probably should roll with Jack Martin if he's ready to go. Marchbank, I wouldn't be risking if he's not 100% fit, because you can cover him. Obviously, Cripps going in there is going to be huge. Mackay forward's going to be massive, and not just for what he does, but he just changes the whole setup. If you're a defender or an opposition, if you're Sydney and you're looking at Carlton's forward line, you don't need to put your best defender on a Tom De Koning, for example, if he's playing full forward, because he's not going to rip the heart out. Where if you've got Mackay against Richmond, they're going to be thinking, well, we need to cover him and Charlie Curnow, and it just changes your whole structure and how it looks. So obviously they'll make a difference, but I think you do have to be mindful of not rolling into round 1 with too many blokes who might not be able to run out the game, especially if it's tight.
Yeah. What have you made of the preseason as a whole, the whole picture?
It's a roller coaster.
Already.
I mean, and you know what? You wouldn't expect anything less. I think one week you're thinking, geez, we're having a good preseason. You see the footage, they're looking really good. Then you log on randomly and there's an injury. So I don't know. I think it's been a good preseason. The boys look big. They look fit. But we'll just see. Round 1, they'll all be cramping up in the last quarter, regardless of how a preseason goes. And I think my opinion is it's a lot of smoke and mirrors preseason. I mean, we're talking about professional football clubs here. Everyone's preseason is very similar. You're not going to have teams who are just going to be blowing up, or teams who are remarkably fitter than another team. It's professional sport. So I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors when it comes to preseason, but yeah, they seem fit enough, and as long as they're not bloody injured, it's a good result.
Yeah, for sure. So confident going into the season now in a couple of weeks?
Look, I've been on the record. I've said I think we'll start slowly. I said I've say I think we'll have a very opposite year to last season. I think we'll start slowly and come home strong. I'm still backing. I think we'll finish 6th, around about that 5th, 6th mark. But I do worry that, judging by social media tonight, what's going to be like when I predict, I don't think we're going to have a great start. What is it going to be like on social media if we start 0-1 or 0-2, for example? But I think we're going to come home strong.
Get that mix right.
Yeah, 100%.
The young boys, how many of them debut?
I'm going to say one, 100%. Cowan.
Yeah,
100%. I like Ollie Hollins, but I think one will definitely debut, but it wouldn't. Like, I'm not going to fall off my chair if Hollins is named as well. So I still think they'll go with O'Brien on the MCG. Big ground, big game. Yeah, I still think they'll go with him.
Yeah. All right. Love it. Faz, good to see you, mate.
Love your work.
Take it easy. Luke.
Tez, not much from me tonight, but I'll just say I'm very, very, very happy that we got to play against a system like the Swans tonight.
Yeah.
Just thought, and to have Leon Cameron back at their academy now and pinching all those just aliens who've got those legs on them. They can just run all day. It looks like it. And even their pinch ruckman as well. It was funny as well, hearing the commentators talk about Laddams and him getting underdone, and then they had to throw in the other academy ruckman in. Couldn't remember his name, but just what Sydney did today looked the complete opposite to us in terms of obviously you just said don't know what we're looking for from both a coach perspective. But, it just looked to me like, Sydney were able to experiment, whereas we were sort of falling into not some old habits, but some just reoccurring themes from both preseason and 2022.
That game tonight reminded me of Adelaide in round the fourth last game of the year last year, especially the start. Just maybe the first few minutes it looked competitive, and then it was just a fall off. There was a flatness. So as much as I don't want to get caught into could, would, and should, I'm going to be expecting there's going to be an increase in the energy levels and the way we play across the board. There was definitely a flatness around it.
Especially up to that, something about when we get to the around 40 points around halftime, and we're sort of down by 4 goals or something, and obviously just said didn't know what the coaches were trying to look for that game, but I was just hoping to find just a bit more urgency, especially entering inside 50, or even I was just rooting for Jesse Motlop today to sort of bounce back a bit, because he's been doing all the right things both off the track and on the field as well. But just a few times where he could have just made that extra run just on the tackle. I know it's preseason, but I just wanted a bit more experimentation, and you can't ask for much, especially leading into round 1 as well. But at the same time, when you're getting run over like that, just letting Sam Durden give two cheapies to Buddy Franklin towards the end. Yeah, it's a bit flat, but we move on. To be honest,
expectations for the season. How do you feel?
Well, contrary to popular belief, I think we're going to have a very unexpected, great start to the season. And that's just off the back of just, a bit of Kool-Aid, but at the same time, just a bit of optimism. I just trust the system at the moment. I trust where the boys are at the moment. And I'm just really excited to get back into it, to be honest.
Yeah, same. We've got a good taste of it over the last few weeks. Tonight was funny. It was an official practice match, but that broadcast, there was nothing official about that. Those technical issues from that broadcast. I don't know what happened there.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that in an AFL match before.
Yeah, that was weird. So they got busted. The commentators got busted, not at the game. It's funny.
nice to see Dwayne Russell's face every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, like how that was an official match as well, and just being able to look at the stats around there, especially just noting the position changes as well. Nice to see the impact of both Doc and Ches. I think there is a bit of a rotation having with them. We saw a glimpse. I was sort of more interested about Chera as well, because he great start to this game, and like sort of rebounding off his Collingwood game as well. But yeah, sort of faded a bit. Not sure if that's just from pushing back to half back, or if that is a rotation between him and Doc at the moment. But just nice to see, reflecting off the stats at the moment, like the real impact that's going to have in the game situation at the moment. And just another thing I picked up just quickly. None of Sydney's tools took a mark inside 50 up until the third quarter, which just happened to be when Jacob Wiedering got subbed off. And just to see him move back with the flight a few times, I thought that was just very underrated from his game, and especially just seriously wet conditions as well. Yeah, he looked good. He was a bit quiet last week, but more so it was one of those defenders games where it's okay if they're quiet because their opponent hasn't done much. But yeah, a little step forward for Wieders. But mate, 2 more weeks, the real stuff begins, and then I guess we'll cast judgment when the 4 points are on the line. Time to regroup and time to get back to the G.
Love it. You know it.
Excited. Anyways, not much from that game. Thanks, Tez. Anyways, have a great night, Blue Baggers.
See you, mate. Take it easy. All right. I'm going to put a link in the comments as well. Would love to see some new faces join me, have a chat, share your thoughts. So just click that link. It'll take you straight through to the back room. I've got one in the waiting room right now. Toby.
Yeah, Tez. How are you, Matt?
Mate, great to see you for the year.
Great to be back on, Matt. Great to be back on. I'm a bit disappointed with tonight, to be honest. I mean, 1 week we play well, this week not so great, but I mean, it's a learning curve. It's a new season. It's a new year. We've got to learn quickly, because that's the way the game's going now. It moves so quick. It's a fast-paced game. And if we're on the back foot, I'm sad to say it, but Richmond are going to, if we do what we did tonight, Richmond are definitely going to tear us up on the G.
We're going to need to bring some better intensity in a few weeks, aren't we?
Yep, most definitely, Matt.
What are your thoughts going into the year after this preseason? How do you see it all coming together?
Look, I'm excited, Terry. I think from my perspective, I think, and I've said this to a lot of my Carlton friends, I've got us finishing from 5th to maybe 8th. If we can show, look, our first couple of weeks, all right, Richmond, Geelong, that's tough, the first 2, but maybe after that, let's see. I'm just positive, but I'm also kind of like, I've been here, done that. We've seen this before, but I think we've just got to stay calm and just, as supporters, if we get a couple of bad weeks, don't worry about it, because we've got the talent to be a good side, but we've just got to get the balance right.
Yeah. It's time to get it done, isn't it?
Correct, Matt. It's been too long.
It has been. Well, I look forward to seeing you throughout the year, mate, on the fan cams. Thanks for joining as always. And have a good night.
No problems, Matt. And go the Baggers.
Go the Baggers. Lewis.
Hey, Terry. Can you hear me?
How are you? Yeah, I can, mate. How are you?
Yeah. You know, this is the first time on the fan cams.
I do know. Welcome.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah, and, you know, it's good that you can see my face now and everyone else. Okay.
What did you make of that? What did you make of that tonight?
Well, it was a practice game. I mean, I expected more from the game, but I actually really liked Lockie Cowan, and I can't wait to see him play round one. He's going to be a really good player for us in the upcoming years. I think we need to work on our transition game more. We just we always kept on making silly mistakes and turnovers. It was not our day, but I think we just need to not overreact, be patient, and just let the players go for a bit. I know that we wanted more, but I think when it comes to round one, we'll be ready. We'll come out, we'll fire, we'll be stronger with our players back, we'll be confident. I reckon we'll be a really good side coming into round one. And you know what? If Richmond wants to win their preseason game, just let them. Let them have like a party down there. Because when the Carlton comes down at the MCG, we'll show them how real side plays. So
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited to see all our players stand up against this team.
Will you be there round one at the MCG?
Oh no, I'm the type of person, Terry, that does not want to lose my voice. I get angry. When I get angry, I lose my mind, especially with the umpires and all that. But I will cheer from the TV. I'll try not to break my TV if I get angry, but I will look happy if we win. I will try and give my optimistic to Pommy when I join that watch along.
Yeah. Love it. Well, Lewis, thanks for joining, mate. Welcome to the fan
man.
cams. We'll see you around again.
Yeah, man. Got the booze.
See you, mate. Craig.
Terry, mate, how you going, bro?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. First time, long time, my brother.
Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. It's good to have you here.
Might be a bit, yeah, man. Looking forward to the season this year, bro. Bit of a learning curve tonight, but Sydney Swans are a very good side, man.
Yeah, they had a bit to. You can maybe make the case they had a little bit to prove. They didn't come out very well last week, so they were probably going to respond.
Look, I really like the work of Lockie Cowan. He's going to be a very good young player, I think. Only a very young man, but good size about him. Good intent. I really like Collins as well. I'm actually in Indonesia right now, Terry. So it's a bit clunky here, mate. Sorry.
Love that. You're a blue abroad. What do you look for when it comes to the preseason matches? When you watch the last two games that we've played, what do you really go in there looking for?
Pre-season for me is about trialling some young players out. Obviously, hoping no injuries. Fingers crossed, no injuries to the major players.
Yeah.
And trying a new system, see what these players can fit in. If some players go down during the year, other guys come in and fill their spots. So, like Cowan, we found one.
Go on there.
Chincotta, I like him. Hopefully we get like Mitch McGovern, Jack Martin, these guys there. Round one, smash the Tigers in 2 weeks' time, bro. Smash it.
I love it. You're going to be in Indonesia for the game?
I will be back on this Thursday morning, 6 a.m. So I might try and tune in to get. I watch the fan cams, obviously, Terry. So no, I missed the game, unfortunately. Bit soft there, but I'll be back for the Geelong game, round 2.
Perfect. Well, mate, we look forward to having you around. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much, Terry. Before I go, thanks for your channel. You do a great job, and I'll DM you soon. And thank you so much for your work, Terry. Thank you so much.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good to see you there, Craig. Ugo with the 50 says, good evening. Hello, mate. Good evening to you as well. Run through some of the key stats. I was taking note of it, I think especially in that first quarter. I'm going to put the link in as well. We've got a clean waiting room right now. So if anyone hits the link, they'll come straight through. I remember looking at the clearance battle when we were getting smashed early on. I'm pretty sure we cleaned that up somewhat. From hitouts, we actually, so we won the hitout battle, lost the clearance battle 40-31. I think I saw it at 19-9 at one point. The inside 50 count was looking pretty poor early in that game as well, I remember. Let me just get that up. Yeah. 59-48 it ended. So not great. I don't think there is a real need to overreact though. I think for the most part, it's a different feeling in the fan cams this preseason. There's a lot more calm. I think we've all been scarred from what happened last year. A little bit of humility creeps in. I no longer find myself manifesting that we're going to do this and we're going to do that. I'm pretty reserved on seeing them do it first before I talk. I think that's going to bode well for me. It's going to bode well for us this year. But let me know some of your thoughts. We will look like we're going to wrap this up shortly. Alex, all you got to do is just click the link. It's in the chat right now. What else have we got here? Liam, it was at the game. Seemed like the old Blues, just bomb it long, hope for the best. Yeah, it's an interesting point. I remember seeing very late in the game once the Sting had totally left the game. That's when we started the run and carry. I saw it a little bit in the first quarter as well. And I'm a little bit, again, it led me to believe that lack of energy was a real feature for us. So pretty confident we're going to be able to improve that before round one. Pretty confident they'll be up and about. I don't see us bringing that energy for round one. I think I would assume they're looking just to get through a game like tonight. One thing I was also curious about, not sure exactly how many minutes some of these young boys played that were on the extended bench. I don't remember seeing Jack Carroll play too much. I remember seeing him have a nice passage of play once he did come on, but I'm not too much more the wiser as to who's lifted in their game and who's really forcing themselves in for a spot. I think Pommy mentioned it earlier. I was hoping to see a little bit more from Dow. I was hoping to see a little bit more from Jack Carroll, as I really do believe there's an opportunity there for them. But I guess we'll see how that one plays out. We've got a guest.
I do.
Webby.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm okay.
Saw you were up and about on Twitter all week.
Oh, yeah. You know. Bit of a hard watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a tough watch. It was
pre-season game, mate. Pre-season.
Yeah, pre-season.
It's frustrating. Yeah. I was frustrated. I won't lie, but it's pre-season and bring on Richmond in 12 days, 13 days. Let's go.
What have you made of the pre-season so far? Not just the games, but just the whole picture. Where do you see us right now?
Yeah, fine, mate. Fine. Ready to go. Yeah. Are you trying to trigger me into talking about injuries or?
No. Would you like to talk about injuries?
No, I don't. No.
I thought we got through unscathed tonight. I didn't see any injuries tonight, but
no.
The guys that are going to come in. I mean, I spoke about this in the preview. I mean, we know why McGovern didn't play. Martin, we know there's a management issue going on, which, to be fair, they did say they're going to be trying something different this offseason when it came to the health of the list.
Yeah.
I guess we don't know because the season hasn't played out yet. So we don't know what the method is in this preseason. But
none of us know. None of us know what the hell's going on inside the four walls.
That's true.
Yeah.
How much of an impact?
Sorry, mate. Go.
So how much of an impact will the guys have coming back in?
Oh, massive. You bring in a Brownlow medalist. You bring in a Coleman medalist. Of course it's going to help.
Yeah.
You hope.
Yeah. What else going into round one? What else is on your mind?
Just a couple of trends that I've seen over the last couple of years, like these dump kicks. Like, is that like a composure issue? What do you think it is? Because seems to happen week in and week out to us. I can't work it out.
Tonight it looked like they were taking the easy option, so to speak, and not absorbing the heat, just getting it out of the area, which for the most part, I think especially when it's wet, you have to do that.
Yeah.
But I always notice the best teams have this ability to handball their way out of pressure and then clear the kick.
Correct.
So I didn't see us using that tonight much at all.
Correct.
But again, we're gonna need to make that a priority to be better under the heat come round one, because the Tigers have got a point to prove. They'll be right at it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like they're playing Melbourne tomorrow down my way, so I'll probably go and have a look. And we just play too much Jack in the Pack for mine. There's too much kicking down the line. This has been an issue for a while now. Like this isn't something new. So yeah, I'm just.
Well, mate, we'll see what happens. See you in 2 weeks.
But I do think Hollands. I reckon Hollands will play round one, actually.
Okay.
So, yep.
I like what I saw.
We'll see. We'll see, mate.
Good on you, Webby.
See you, buddy.
See you, mate. Jim.
What's going on, man?
Good to see you.
You too, mate. What do you think?
It was flat. It was just flat.
We were a bit flat.
It didn't have energy. It didn't have spark. It just was. I wouldn't say going through the motions, because that would not give enough credit to Sydney. But yeah, just didn't see us in the hunt for long enough. And then I made the comment earlier. I'm not sure. Again, it could be something we were setting up situationally. I heard Nathan Buckley talking earlier in the broadcast in the game before us, the St Kilda Essendon game, and he was saying the score, from a coach's perspective, they were talking to him about what it really means in the preseason. And he said sometimes you will go out in a preseason game and literally set up so you can have the opposition attacking you in a certain way to see how you deal with it. I don't really know what the instruction was in the coach's box. We'll never know. We won't know because we're not in there. But yeah, I didn't come away from that feeling too worried. I also didn't come away from that feeling much more thrilled or excited. So it was just kind of
It was just a hit out, and you could tell. I think from the third quarter onwards that the boys knew it was just a hit out. I felt the youngsters, they had a real good crack. Cowan and Hollands, really quality, man. We've done well here. I think this is the first time in 10 or so years, besides Walshy, where I feel like maybe they got that right.
Yeah.
Definitely got that right this year. Because name another season where, our first year players have just had impact. Those boys had impact tonight. They looked like somewhat standouts. So I don't know. I'm not worried. I'm not concerned about that. That's to me, it's about as fine as it goes. Like, there are no major injuries, which is great. Imagine, we got one tonight. That would have been rough. So no, pretty happy with it. Very, very confident against Richmond in round one this year. Not like last year. I wanted to see it last year. This year, no, I am very confident. I think it's ours this year to lose. If things go right, we just need a healthy run. I have run my fucking mouth online.
Oh, you've started?
I've done a Terry this year, mate. I'm 32. I've never ever said in my life, and this is true, on God, I have never ever said we can win the flag. We can win the flag. We can win it. So just got to make sure our first 5, we're around about the mark. And we'll go from there, I reckon. But it could be a big year for us, finally, I'm hoping.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully we're marching to finals week 1 and don't want to look too far ahead. Got caught out doing that.
Never.
But I feel the sentiment from everyone that's come on tonight. It's just no one's getting too far ahead of themselves just yet.
No.
Which is also, maybe why
nice. Sorry, was that last bit, mate?
I think that might be why tonight will be a good thing, just to settle everyone down and not get too ahead of ourselves.
That's right. Also, after the game, seeing Vossi having a bit of laugh with Horse, that was, to me, he's calm, and you want your leader to be calm. There's something about how calm he can be, like when he's on camera, he knows the occasion every time. Like he's very calm. Unlike when we had David Teague, who just felt disgenuine. It just never felt. He never felt genuine. Vossi feels genuine when I see him. The fact that he's laughing reminds me of my coaches when we had preseason games. They got through. Things worked. Things didn't work. It's all good. It's a practice game. We'll be fine. This is fine. We've just got to come out, huge intensity against Richmond. Like you said, that game's so important. That's the only game they should be thinking about. And just get the job done versus Richmond.
Easy done. Love it. Jim,
absolutely.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
No worries, mate. Take it easy, all right? See ya.
Bro. Paddy.
How are you, Tez?
Good to see you again, mate. A familiar face.
Always great to see you, good fella.
Talk to me.
It was
we're done pre-season. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, obviously wasn't happy, but had that have been, if we had to come out and did a number of them, I think we'll all be chanting number 17, it's coming home and everything. So it's actually good to, because this stage last year, I was quietly confident, but now that's sort of solidified. I'm even more confident going into round one because, as the bloke just before said, Vossi was not phased one little bit. Like, I don't know how our back line's going to look. Like, Marchbank, McGovern, all reports saying McGovern was flying in pre-season. So you would think, even though he hasn't played in a pracky match, I still put him in the back six easy. So I don't know how that's going to look. Really love the old moo cow, and he's going to be something. And I can definitely hear a moo every time he gets the ball in hand. Hopefully, so I'm loving him. Hollands works hard. Akers is just he's going to be. Oh, you can even see it. Like he went hard all game and worked his ass off, but he had that composure that we lack on the wing. He's going to be massive for us. So George Hewitt, Mr. Consistent. He's you forget he missed the last 5 or 6 rounds last year, and you just miss that brute force in there, and he just doesn't miss a tackle. So coming out of there, I wasn't happy obviously after the game, but then I thought, what does it mean? Like Errol Goulden's that bloke that back in the school days, we had that guy that always tried extra hard in PE class. So he was he can have his little show pony. He probably got me out of the super coach now, where I sort of hit him in the fourth mid. So, but in saying that, I reckon I couldn't be any more confident going into round one, to be honest. Like, it's 4 or 5 goals comfortably. Harry Charles, mate, Charlie. I don't know about you, but I don't know why we had him out the whole game. But he, towards the end there, he was going for a mark with anything. Like, I had my heart in my mouth there for a bit, especially when it started drizzling. Did you hear Dicko reckons he could kick 100?
Yeah, I did see that. I'm not a fan of the mainstream hyping us up too much. I'm sure he could. I'm sure Charlie could, but I think more importantly, just get him through tonight. You're right.
Oh.
There were a few times where he flew up for a grab tonight. And I still look at him in the same way as when he first came back.
Yeah,
your heart's in your mouth for me, anyway.
Mate.
So
even that tackle, he got caught holding the ball. His knees sort of went under. I thought,
feel that.
Yeah, but how do you feel leading into round one?
Yeah, I trust the group. I trust the people we've got at the club. I trust that we're on the right track. But also, let me see it. Let me see it. I don't want to get too excited until I see it. Yeah, I think last year we were deprived of having something to be excited about, and we got that. Obviously, it ended the way it did. We're now, we move into that next stage now, that next door that we've got to get through, and that is break the duck, make the 8, compete for a premiership. We've got to put ourselves in a position. So yeah, I'm not going to try. I'm going to try not get too caught up. But let's get to round one, get the job done, and then I'll start getting excited then. But yeah, I've got a quiet confidence around our capabilities.
Who do you have in the back six, the starting back six, round one?
Well, who's healthy?
I know. Like, well, Marchbank's got calf tightness, but there's always more to the story, isn't it, with these injury reports? So, we clearly tweaked things. You know, the back line had no speed or, you know, speed of the ball coming off there, no intensity running off. Like Sard, I've never seen him so, you know, basically hide in the back pocket all game. It just seemed like, you know, let the kids have a crack, like Cow and go do your thing, Holland. So, like, it wasn't our usual, well, based off last year, our game plan. So that's why, you know, they obviously had other KPIs and expectations of a few things. So, but the other thing that Bucks mentioned as well, I think earlier today, was what's our plan B and C, and like you still didn't even see it in the pracky tonight. So that is a little bit concerning, but at the same time, like I don't take anything out of it. So I wanted to see something else, you know, a bit off field in terms of ball movement, but at least hopefully there's no injuries to report. That's all. We all come unscathed and we move forward, Tez.
Mate, spot on. See you in 2 weeks.
See you then, mate.
Take care. Bye. All right. One more. Andrew. You're on mute. Can't hear you. Hang on. Yeah, you've muted yourself.
How's that? Sorry.
Gotcha. No, you're right.
I didn't
Pre-season,
get to see.
we're dusting up the webs.
Happy late New Year.
Yes. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, buddy. I didn't get to see a lot of the game because I was still working, because in the West we're behind. But yeah, a bit disappointed in the energy level. The boys, I don't know whether it seemed like they were told not to go too hard or something. I don't know, but it was just too obvious that there's just not enough effort to play that level.
Yeah, there was definitely a lack of intensity that they built themselves on last year. But again, it's maybe a learning curve. A few senior boys out there that you can tell weren't at their best. But you just, I trust certain guys out there to be better round one. Definitely. I think like Paddy just mentioned Sardi's going to have a lot more energy than what he had tonight for sure. I think Lewis Young probably wasn't playing at his best tonight as well. So I trust these guys to be better for it. You know, they get 2 games under their belt and then we see. Yep.
But the new guys are definitely promising. They're looking good, and once they mesh in with the team, they'll be unstoppable down the track. So it's they were very good pickups. So we got a lot of potential. But yeah, Sydney in the rain, we never seem to do that well.
No.
It's historically true. we always seem to fall apart. And to Sydney's credit, I mean, their divide and conquer strategy is always on point, and they just went to work and did what they did, and we allowed it.
Yeah.
So there's not much else that you can really say that we can just learn from. Watch the game back and see where we need to improve, and we move forward.
Confident this year?
I am. Yep. And aren't we always, as Tommy?
We are. There's a different feeling for me. I must say.
Definitely. Yeah, right. It's definitely a different feeling. Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. But I think the system is coming together nicely. And, to Vossi's credit, he's injected that psyche into the side, and it's now flowing out into the fan base and supporter base. So yeah, good on him. And I just can't wait. I can't wait for Richmond. It's going to be a good game.
Get the real stuff going. Well, mate, good to see you again, and I'm sure we'll do this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Wasn't going to come on. I thought, no, I'll come and say good day.
Come and get a practice run in.
I feel like the senior of the group, but anyway, it's all good.
Nah, all ages, mate. All ages cater. And to be honest, you've got the good.
I think I'm breaking up.
You there?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, mate. We'll leave it there. Take care. All righty. That'll do it. 1 hour on the dot. Thanks for tuning in. It's good to be back in the chair. More questions than answers for tonight, but also reflecting back on, 12 months ago and trying to take something out of that. We were up and about before round one last year, as we always are, but I sense it from people that came on tonight. I sense a level of humility. I sense a humble nature to the way we're all speaking and thinking right now. I can't remember who made the comment earlier, but had we come out and blown the Swans away tonight, this would have been a Kool-Aid session for sure. We'd be pouring it out everywhere. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for being here. See you in a few weeks. Short little break and then straight into it, straight into the real stuff. See you tomorrow for the review, and go Blues.